We got to move on really quickly. Staying
Yep.
here in the combine, I did want to talk about we talked about this, number of schools are represented, as we know, and surprise, surprise, the national champions, Michigan, leads the bunch with 18 prospects that are going to be going to the combine, followed by Washington with 13, Florida State with 12, and then Texas and Georgia tied at 11. I I definitely am not surprised by this. And a lot of these players from Michigan, obviously JJ McCarthy, Blake Corum, number of big name guys. Zinter, even though he's hurt, he'll be definitely going at the combine. A number of these guys are elite. I am not convinced that they're not going. I'm not convinced they're not going to follow Jim Harbaugh some way, shape, or form to LA. It's got to be a part of that. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Or they might go to Detroit. Jared Goff, I heard they might not be picking up his fifth-year option and might end up tagging him next year. They might be looking at JJ themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see. Are you surprised at all by this? I mean, Florida State, Georgia, Texas, these are all the powers, the perennial powers.
These were the top 4 teams in the country this season, so I'm not surprised by that at all. All those boys are gonna wanna make a run for the NFL to see what's gonna happen. Now, do I think all 18, 13, 12, 11 are gonna make it? No. Some are probably gonna get picked up in free agency, etcetera, so but it doesn't surprise me. There's so many. I mean, these are the guys that got invitations to go. So the NFL is looking at them and saying, okay, we think you guys can make it here. Come and prove your worth. So everybody forgets that about the combine is that you have to get an invitation.
Right. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because there's a number of names that did not get attention. A lot of these names might not be well known. I do want to talk about Illinois. Christian Boyd was not invited, and somebody that I talked about who started in the MAC at Ball State, Carson Steele. And first and foremost, Tina, I mean, I don't know if you read any of those sultry novels, but that just seems like a name that should be Carson Steele. It's his chest ripple, But this guy, and he looks the part. He looks the part. Blonde hair, going all the way down his back. So at 6'2", 200, something, 220 or something like that.
What
But this
position
guy
does he play?
Running back. He plays running back.
Okay.
This guy led the nation, or either led the nation or was like top 3 in the nation a year ago in running at Ball State with over 1,500 yards. Transfers to UCLA this past year. Doesn't have the best of numbers. He was in a committee of running backs. Still a top tier back. Was not invited to the NFL combine. So hopefully he'll continue to try to keep moving on. But I was interested in that. But there's a number of guys that have not been invited and still going on to have successful NFL careers. So it's not all lost. But
I think I know why he wasn't invited. Because he wasn't at UCLA the entire time. He was in the MAC the first couple of years.
Yep.
And the MAC, while a really good conference, it has hits and misses when it comes to they don't tend to get invited to combine unless it's for something like my alma mater, NIU, when we played the Orange Bowl against FSU and that kind of stuff. We had a few that got Garrett Wolf got asked, a few others, but that's just it. They just don't really. Jimmy Ward is one that did get through the combine and he ended up. But it's the reason I asked is it tends to be linemen or defense.
Yeah.
In the MAC. So that's why I was asking. So when you said he was a running back, I was like, oh, that guy.
That guy.
Yeah, I knew who he was.
And I definitely want you guys to stay tuned this fall when college football comes back. Tina and I will be looking into the MAC conference because there's a lot of talent there, a lot of great games. And my personal favorite, these are the games that are going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday during the middle of the week. Great weather. Absolutely love it. Want to shout out Tyler Helton saying, I want my team to pick up Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Chiefs. The rich getting richer.
Keep
that's
dreaming. It's not
yeah,
happening.
that's not
He's gonna
happening.
be
They would have to,
gone way
yeah,
before the
they'd
Chiefs
have to give
pick.
up way
Sorry,
too much.
Tyler.
And any thoughts on Justin Jefferson leaving the Vikings? Hey, going back really quickly to free agency and all that, I do not think it's going to happen. In fact, I believe their owner or their coach came out and
Their
said,
owner came out and said he's not being traded.
right.
Yeah,
So, but
he's
on
staying.
the flip side, we know he's going to reset that wide receiver market when he gets paid.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, I
He might
mean,
get an extension, he might get a new contract because again, he's under his rookie contract, so they might wanna renegotiate that to keep him, but he's not leaving, is what they
right.
said, and that to me tells me that they're probably also working to have Kirk Cousins stay too, because
Hmm,
Kurt has said he needs Jefferson, he wants Jefferson to stay,
right.
so we'll see how that goes, so
Yeah. It's gonna be very interesting, especially with all those Kirk rumors to Washington. We don't need that. Yes. So, yeah, and that look, so that the combine is here, but look, we have to move on because this off season is going.